You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walk in his ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Ferman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking This Way Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Ferman Jackson Jr. I'm broadcasting live once again from Arlington, Texas, outside Dallas and Fort Worth. Big shouts out to DFW. Big shouts to Arlington, Fort Worth, Dallas, the whole of the surrounding area of Texas. Not just that, but Mississippi, my home state of Alabama, and other surrounding areas. Man, we want to thank y'all once again for joining with us, welcoming us in your home, wherever you may be at your office, wherever you may be present at. We thank y'all once again for being allowed us to be a part of your evening, as we do every Tuesday night here on the Walking This Way Impact Voice Podcast. Also, we want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just type in Walking This Way Impact Voice Podcast. It will come up. Right now, we're at 160 subscribers. We thank everybody for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We want to continue getting the numbers up. We want you to comment. We want you to like. Also subscribe. And it don't cost you anything just to do that. But also, I love to have, we got E.MO back. We got Kenny back. We got world news. We got sports news. Also, we're going to have our Q&A with our featured guests this evening. So, on a lighter note, before we get off into the podcast, we know football season is going on. We know the NBA season is here to pick up. The interesting stories. I hate that Alabama lost Saturday, but that was a wake-up call for that team. And I know Nick Saban's not going to play with them Bulls in practice. So, Kenny, take away with the latest news with the sports, NFL, NBA, you name it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Welcome. Welcome. You are now in the prime zone. I'm your host, Kenny Primetime Williams. I'm glad you're here to join me. I look forward to telling you some interesting things that has happened, breaking news from the sports world. First of all, I would like to give shots out to the all Mississippi Gulf Coast area, Mobile, Alabama, Dallas, Texas, Greenville, Mississippi, and the surrounding areas. We appreciate you for tuning in and tuning into Walking This Way podcast. I am your host, Kenny Primetime Williams, and let's get into it. I got a lot of news for your audience. Look, you will want to brace yourself for this one if you're a Raiders fan, if you're a Philadelphia fan, even if you're a Buccaneer fan. Look, hey, brace yourself. I got some things for you. Let's get into the NBA. Ben Simmons has now reported to Philadelphia. He is now on his way to Philadelphia. He has already took his COVID test. He has reported to the team. The controversy between him and Joel Embiid has got outrageous during the course of this summer, and I'm hoping that this meeting that they're going to have together will ignore some things and bring the team back together. So I'm glad Ben is going back to Philadelphia. He had a hard time getting with the team and everything. Also, we have the preseason kicking off. The season opener is October 19th, which is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. So we're still in football season, but we still have basketball season coming up. So get your favorite basketball apparel out. Keep your football apparel out, but just put the basketball to the side. Now let's go to the NFL. Well, this past weekend was a blast. A lot of great games this weekend. A lot of missed field goals from a lot of different kickers, even in the college ranks. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be the first to let you know on Walk in His Way podcast, Alabama lost. The Crimson Tide got defeated against Texas A&M. It was an upset. It was a big upset. It was big shots out to the state of Texas and the campus of Texas A&M. The school of the 12th man took on Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide, and it was a great game. They fought all the way. I got to give it to them. Alabama is a powerhouse team, and they fought all the way, and they came in very comfortable, and Texas A&M came in with a mindset of doing one thing, and that's winning the ball game. And they did just that, ladies and gentlemen. They sent Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide back to Tuscaloosa. So I know a lot of people are happy about that. I also know a lot of people that are not happy about that. I'm including people like E.MO. I'm going to get on her case in just a second, because I don't know what it is about people that love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I'm going to say this. They're a good team, but hey, there's a team where our owner, our co-owner, our co-host, the CEO, the president, everybody lives. Mr. Ferman Jackson lives in Arlington, Texas, by way of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I was going to get on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I'm going to shift over to the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to let y'all know what a great game they played against the New York Giants. We are 2-0 in the division. We are rolling as a team. We are doing great. Dak had great numbers. CeeDee Lamb had great numbers. The entire team had great numbers. Not to mention big defense from our defensive back, Trayvon Diggs. Amazing guy. He now has 6 picks of the year, leading the NFL, leading the league in interceptions. And I am so proud of him, man. He worked very hard. He's another Crimson Tide. He came from Alabama, so big kudos to him. So I love everything that the Cowboys did this past weekend against the New York Giants. Final score was 44-21, and we did a mud dog to them. Going on in the NFL last night, the Ravens took on the Indianapolis Colts in overtime. They beat them with a last-second field goal and won the game. The Baltimore Ravens have been in almost 3 overtimes this season, so they've been playing close games all the way. Not to mention, Green Bay comes up with an overtime victory against the Cincinnati Bengals. In this game alone, it got down to the kickers. Cincinnati Bengals kicker and Green Bay Packers kicker missed field goals, and more field goals until one just made it and one just had to end the game. So we give big congratulations to the Green Bay Packers for winning that game. Also, in college, Jackson State Tigers took on the Alabama A&M team, and it was a blowout, 61-25. Coach Prime, my mentor, my guy, my #1 man, was the head coach of this one, and he delivered a pink scooter to the opposing coach after the game. I would have loved to have been there to see that, ladies and gentlemen. I would have loved it. Now let's get back to the NFL. Breaking news coming out of Las Vegas. The Raiders have reportedly let the head coach, John Gruden, go. Speculations come about when he had back in 2011, or from 2007 to 2011, speculations came about him being sending racial emails to different people concerning different things, and it came back to crack him up this time. And the Raiders owner got together with John Gruden, and they let him go. He decided to resign. There's no room for this in the NFL or any sport at all. I don't condone it. I'm not giving any pass on that one because he did it and it was a wrong thing to do. But I hope all is well with him. God bless him still. You always send blessings toward the people that even hurt you or even does wrong. So big ups to John, and I hope he get his act together along with his family and everything. But he is no longer the Raiders coach anymore, ever again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I dare not get on this show and on this Prime Zone segment and not tell you about this past weekend fight between Tyson Fury and Dante Wilder. I don't know if you paid for the pay-per-view or you saw the highlights. I actually watched the entire fight, and from round 2 all the way to round 11, when Dante was knocked out, it was not a pretty sight. Tyson Fury came in with a great game plan. He was the better guy. He was the better fighter. I just think that for Dante, I think that this was a great trilogy between the two of them. He did some great things as well, but I think that I personally think that he just should sit back for a while and reevaluate how some things go. But Tyson Fury regains the belt. goes back home to Atlanta where the Gypsy King is residing, and he said he's going to party. Meanwhile, Dante Wilder is not being a great sportsmanship about the whole deal. Was asked about fighting him again. He said that he has no respect for Tyson Fury. He doesn't want to be around him. And it still has to be sportsmanship when you're playing the game of sport, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, or any ball. You have to have sportsmanship and great conduct. So I will pray and hope that God will touch his heart and soften his heart, because it was a well-fought fight and the best man won. So big ups to Tyson Fury on regaining, is keeping the WBC heavyweight championship. I look for more in the future. Now, as I leave you, I normally would have a final thought for today, but today I didn't have one. And I thought about it all day, and I thought about it even when I came home. And God spoke to my heart, and he said, just tell the people, I love you. I love you. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in to the Prime Zone. I'm Kenny Primetime Williams. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Ferman, take it away, baby.
There you go. There you go. Thank you. The latest news and updates that's going on in the sports world. We just thank everybody once again for taking time of their busy schedule to join in with us, or better go look on the YouTube channel when it gets uploaded. But very excited about what's going on. Very exciting time. Very trying times for a lot of people. Everywhere you go through is trying times. I know. Last week we had a shooting here in Arlington, Texas, at a high school here, where a young man took a gun to school. It was all on the news. Reports coming out that this young man was being bullied for a good period of time. I think it had something to do with his mother also, but he been crying out for help. And from what they say, they kind of brushed it off, and it led to that point where he had that breaking point. Not justifying what the young man did, is when people crying out for help. Let's take heed to it. Don't take it lightly. Don't blow it off. Cause that right there could have been prevented if the young guy would have got help and things of that nature. But to the parent, if you're a parent and you got children, find out what's going on with them. Don't take it lightly. Don't think that everything's good. You never know what your child going through when they go to these schools. You never know what your child going through when they go to these different places. Who's bothering them? Who's touching them? Watch the signs. Build that relationship with your child. Your child can be able to come talk to you about any and everything that they're going through and dealing with. You know, I think a lot of times, especially in the black community, every time our child come and say something, the parent want to fly off the handle. We got to get past that. We got to have that relationship with your children. Not saying you got to be their friend, you their parent, but they should be confide in you and tell you, hey, I'm being bullied at school. That's when you need to take your behind off your work, off your job, start chasing this money, and find out what's going on with your children. Find out what's going on with your significant other. Husbands, find out what's going on with your wives. The mental thing, man, is seriously. It really is serious. Mental health is seriously. Wives, find out what's going on with your husbands. Even though we as men go through a lot of things, we have to learn to open ourselves up too, as well, to our wives if you are married. We had this discussion on our podcast a couple weeks ago, I think probably like a month or so ago, where our guest was dealing with stuff from his childhood. You know, he was molested at a young age. He never really got the proper help. It led to him doing different things in life. But just think about if we would have got the help in our childhood, if we was not afraid to open up to a lot of people, especially when it comes to our parents. You know, parents, you are the life teachers. Prepare your children for life. Let them come talk to you about anything. I know you may get pissed off, you may get upset, but installing in your child, if they do something, they should be able to come to you and say, hey, I did this, I did that. Yeah, they're going to reap the consequence of the choices they made. But if somebody come to you and say, your child did this, you see, no, it's already been taken care of. My child told me about it. We dealt with the situation. That's the end of that. So let's build communication. Communication is important, but that's going to be another broadcast. So I know we got E.MO back. I know she got the latest news and updates. So take it away with the news.
Hey, everybody. It's your girl E.MO here with your latest news. I just wanted to touch on what Ferm was just saying. That is very true with the situation that happened in Texas. Please reach out to your children. If you are not comfortable with talking to your children, have your children to designate someone that they're comfortable with talking to. I know for my children, my daughter has an older cousin and she's a positive influence in her life. So that's her person. So if it's something that she's not comfortable with speaking to me about, she can speak to that older cousin. So just guys, do what you have to do to ensure that our next generation has a better start than we had and has a brighter future than we could have had. All right. So we're going to get into our entertainment news. So Dave Chappelle has came out with a new Netflix special. It's called The Closer. And with The Closer and with Dave Chappelle, we already know Dave gets into some pretty racy conversations when he does his stand-up. And so there were a couple of supposedly offensive things that were said concerning the trans community, the gay community. And so 3 Netflix employees were suspended because of speaking out against what Dave Chappelle was saying in his comedy special. I really feel like we're taking things a little too serious nowadays. It's comedy. Dave Chappelle is just doing stand-up comedy. It's jokes. You can't take a joke, then I don't know what to tell you. In other news, so guys, believe it or not, we had an act of treason that happened recently. We had a naval engineer by the name of Jonathan Toby. Him and his wife Diana are accused of allegedly trying to sell secret nuclear information. And it's been like a whole big deal, and it's been going on for over a year. So it actually happened in April of 2020. So him and his wife took a SIM card, and it had top secret information about a submarine, nuclear submarine plans, and they were selling it for $10,000 on the black market. They wanted $10,000 in cryptocurrency. You got to be silly to even try that. So they thought they were selling it to a secret agent for another country, another type of spy or something, but they end up selling it to an undercover FBI agent. So they stuffed a SIM card into a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and they dropped it at a location for the individual to pick it up, and they were supposed to be paid $10,000 cryptocurrency. Now, clearly that didn't go over well for them, as they are now being prosecuted by the Justice Department. So guys, listen, keep our nation lifted up, because there's some crazy stuff going on, because who even thinks about treason really on that level for $10,000 in cryptocurrency? Come on, we got to be doing a little bit better than that, guys. All right, so our healthy fact for tonight, guys. You know, we started the healthy fact last week, and we're gonna keep it going. So our healthy fact is laughing 100 times is equivalent to 15 minutes of exercise on a stationary bike. So all you sad worry warts, I need y'all to get happy. Start laughing. I don't care if you just get on social media and look at some crazy funny reels or whatever. Just get on the internet and start laughing. Reach out, have a conversation with your friends and start laughing. But laughing 100 times a day is equivalent to 15 minutes of exercise on a stationary bike. So listen, guys, joy actually does turn your life around. So a lot of people, they don't do much exercise here, especially in our today's society. So if you could just laugh, it'll be a little workout. And also, you burn more calories when you sleep than when you just sit on the couch. So make sure you're getting your adequate rest, guys. Rest is important to repairing your body. All right. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to have a hot show tonight. It's going to be really, really good. I just saw our guest pop in. Ferm, take it away. Peace.
Appreciate it, E.MO, the latest news and updates. Also, take care of your body is important. The Bible said that God wants to prosper in our health. So being part of this week is prospering in our health. There also are vitamins on your brain as well. Finding the right food to eat for your brain. It kills anxiety. It kills all that stuff. I take vitamins for my brain, my mental health, to make mental focus with every day. So I encourage you, invest into that stuff. Don't buy, let go of the processed food. We get called to the processed food, especially us as a black community. We were so used to eating Hallmark, chitlins, all that fried food, soul food, all that stuff. For you, cakes, all this stuff. And it's bad that we lead in all these negative categories when it comes to our health. High cholesterol, diabetes, all that stuff. So take the money, invest in yourself. Go to the Whole Food stores, grow you some stuff, invest in yourself. Stop saying I don't have time and all this other stuff. Make the time. We make time for anything else. So make the time. Take care of your bodies. Husband, wives, take care of your body. Now I think it's a beautiful thing when you have a husband and wife working out together. Keep that usefulness going. Holding each other accountable. So all that other good stuff as well. Also, I'm very excited. We do have our guest with us tonight. We have Kareem with us. I thank you for taking time out of his busy schedule. I know something had happened early, transpired earlier, and I know he wanted to reschedule, but I'm thankful that he went ahead and pressed his way through. He would have here tonight. I'm not going to prolong the time because the schedule-wise, but Kareem, welcome to Walking This Way's Impact Voice podcast.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me out, man.
And I appreciate you too for taking time. I know you had hit me up not too long ago, but I'm thankful that you, all glory to the Most High, that you still made your way to be with us here tonight on this Q&A. Talk about Living Proof podcast, your music, as you being a husband, you know, the vision for the home as a husband, what makes a man successful. A lot of stuff I want to ask you here tonight on the podcast to encourage other believers, not just believers, but listeners who will be challenged by your words that the Most High will give you to enhance the listening audience with words of wisdom, very important to those who desire to gain all that knowledge and wisdom. So introduce yourself to the audience here tonight so they get a glimpse of who is the man behind the man.
Amen. Thank you once again. My wife told me to take care of guys, do it, get it done. So shout out to my wife and my children and the Most High God for everything I have and what I do. And I'm just a humble servant, man. Living Proof is a way of life. It's media. It's a media company, consulting company. It's the group, the ministry. So God is good. He's using us, man. He is really, really using us. So I'm just glad to be here and talk to you today.
And I appreciate you. Well, I know you have a unique name for the ministry, Living Proof. That's the name you don't hear every day. Then you had the podcast, Living Proof, and many other ventures and outlets dealing with Living Proof. So give a glimpse on what is Living Proof is about. How did that all come about?
Living Proof came about 2006, maybe 2006. Started off with me doing a lot of youth events in California. Shout out to DJ Howie T. He is our DJ. My wife Chanel LaRue, and myself. Two group members actually passed away years ago. Tiffany Rice was a singer, did a lot of stuff in the Bay Area, and then Robert Riggs, which is a brother of mine. We all started off with me, man. I just went to the church and I said, look, I see a need. I see the youth wilding out and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Teaching and preaching to them with the Bible, the way we was taught, some of the ways we were taught wasn't working. So I was like, you know what? I just felt the Spirit of God moving on me. Really, that's really the key. A lot of people, they go to church and they say, well, I got into music because I wanted to do this and do that. God really moved on me. It's a little bit different because it became a calling because I've been doing it for so long now, and God's been using me everywhere. And so it's like the Lord used me, and I seen the youth, I seen the young people, and then my wife was like, you know what, you really need to do this. You really do it. I didn't have an example. I didn't have anybody that told me what was right, what it should be, and whatever. I had nobody. It was just a calling, and it was like the first thing I would ever need. And so it just birthed out of that, and we moved into doing a lot of outreach services, ministry events, working with the youth, doing different things that would equip them, as far as church and outside of church. So we kind of got stuck with it. My name, Living Proof. I was going by the name, man. I wasn't my birthday. I wasn't going by the name and like that. But it was like, we're gonna call you Proof. I was like, what made them think? I didn't understand what made them call me that, because I really wasn't something that I was trying to do. Because I wasn't trying to be a gospel rapper or artist or whatever. So my wife was like, well, you ought to be the evidence of God is real. So she started saying living, but they was calling me Proof. So it was like, I'm not the only one in the ministry. So it was like, no, Living Proof is a ministry. And so then after that, I started working with different ministry, fellowships and churches and things like that. And then it just started with me, man. It just grew, preaching, ministry all over the place.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing. And just that living proof, being a proof that God is real. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is real. And people are only going to experience that through your lifestyle, through my lifestyle, that there is a true living God. And I'm very excited, like I said, with the outpouring of the Holy Ghost. It's in Hebrew, the Ruach HaKodesh, as they say.
Yeah.
The outpouring, taking it to another level, as I say, not just be limited to one particular day, but the ongoing lifestyle. That's why I be persisting in life. That ongoing lifestyle, the deepness, the hunger for the Most High, when it comes to the things of God. So, and I know that in this generation, people are experiencing more of that, like the realness, the truth in the things they want to take.
Yeah. Amen.
So that's a beautiful thing. Also, Living Proof. I know you had a podcast and the music. How can people get in contact with you? How can they also support the podcast as well as other ventures that you and your wife have going on?
Man, they can, we have the podcast. We have that weekly. I'm getting ready to start doing some more shows coming up. We have different artists. If you're an artist and you are looking to get your stuff played on the music, or you want to interview or whatever, reach out to me. If you're looking labels, musicians, artists, now's the time, because I think there's going to be some more concerts coming up, and I will probably be needing some artists and stuff to get on there with me. But you can hit me up at livingproofadvertising@yahoo.com for booking me as an artist, or booking us as a group or whatever, or doing an interview with me or whatnot. Always hit us up then. Or you want to check out some of the interviews I have on my Living Proof Outreach YouTube channel. It's got great content. They got a whole bunch of different artists and interviews from people all over. We got a visual countdown that we do, like gospel videos and music and stuff, like some good stuff too, man. And I put it together. I take a lot of time to put it together. And then we have we're on TikTok, Living Proof Media. We're on Instagram, Living Proof Gospel Music Podcast. And then Facebook, Kareem Bennett, if you want to follow me on there or whatever. All those different platforms where you can check me out. So, God is good. And then I have a website, I have a website, which is it's www.livingproof2021.weebly.com. So you can check out the artists that I work with and all that kind of stuff that I do, and the different things I do. So that's what I'm doing.
Man. That's what's up right there. I know you had said something earlier, not being labeled as a gospel artist. I know when you doing this genre of music, they label and they put you in a box. So when it comes to your music, do you see yourself outside the box? Want to be outside the box? Because I heard somebody say this a while ago. If you have an artist doing secular music, you don't hear them calling them a secular artist. They just call them an artist. But if you're doing music and it's Christ-centered, you a gospel artist. Are more artists now breaking that title? Because when they do that, they put you in a box.
Everybody, I did an interview just Sunday. It was a secular interview, and it was really good too. And and I'm doing a lot more. I think I'm gonna do another one too. But I was just telling somebody about that same thing. He was asking me what CHH meant, and I said Christian hip hop. And I said when I first started, I didn't even know what that meant. And my mother-in-law asked me the other day. She saw a post. She said, "What is CHH? What's that?" I said, "It's Christian hip hop." So I was telling people, man, you know, me being labeled gospel, I would rather be called a gospel artist or a gospel minister, because I'm ministering of the gospel. So if you don't know by listening to our songs whether I'm for the Lord or I'm against the Lord, then I need to go back to the studio and rewrite and create different songs, because that's really what I'm trying to do, is glorify him. And because my wife, shout out to Chanel LaRue, because she took the time when I was coming from the world and I was working with like artists from Death Row Records. People don't know my testimony. So I was working with my cousin's a big time producer out of Texas, matter of fact, El Paso. And I don't know how far y'all is from El Paso, but
it's
anyway,
a ride. It's some hours.
Okay, yeah, I flew down there. Shout out to Zed Bennett. But he, you know, the Lord used him because I was around all these different people and stuff that wasn't serving the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And I really wasn't in the Lord like I should have been. But the thing is, when I came back, I was doing things with other artists that wasn't really serving the Lord. So my cousin or another friend of mine I grew up with, he was like, man, he just got signed to a label. So I was like, man, all these people getting signed, and I'm in the church. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I want to be what they doing. But God has showed me through Kanye West, actually, through a song he did called Jesus Walks. And that kind of provoked me to want to go ahead and do even more. Even though I'd been doing it, I never seen it on the radio or nothing like that, because I never really heard nobody get on the radio. So the Lord kind of, you know, that provoked me. So I guess, you know, somebody asked me, what are you? Are you a gospel rapper, a rapper that does gospel? Or are you a Christian that just happen to do rap music? And I was like, man, I'm just a gospel rapper, man, minister of the gospel. That's it. And so when I started telling people that, they were like, yeah, you gospel, because of the fact that I was preaching and ministering after many of the songs that we did. Like we do a concert, and then the song will be over and I'll start ministering. I was like, why am I ministering when I just want to do the song? But the Lord was using me to preach to the people. And I saw the distinction between me and other artists was a lot of other artists, like, I don't do all that. I don't want to be doing all that. I just do my set and I leave. So then I started realizing, oh, that's the difference. My wife was like, that's the difference between me and us and them. And even our DJs and preacher, I mean, everybody. So I didn't understand why they weren't really, they didn't want to minister in the word. So when I got ordained, the pastor was like, no, you're doing something different because you got a calling. They're doing the music because they can, and God is using that too. But it's different because as a youth minister, I was preaching for like 4 years in church, and I was still doing concerts. But people would call me out and say, man, I need you to come preach. I was like, but I do gospel music. And they was like, no, I need you to come preach. So that's when I knew the Lord was dealing with me about ministering in the word as well as the music. And then they started asking me about creating events and programs like I had it out there in Texas. San Antonio, shout out to them, San Antonio Spurs. Had a big, huge program called LP Community Sports for low-income kids and youth and stuff like that. And man, we had one of the biggest programs. The referees came out and they had helped us to referee the games. We had big games, basketball games and stuff, and it was all clean fun. And it was outreach, man. I did that for a whole year and like a couple months in Texas. So, you know, the ministry has been ranging from music to programs to preaching to now media, but it's all according to his will. Everything is him, you know what I'm saying? So
most definitely. And I meditate on Matthew 6:33 all the time when he says, seek ye first
Amen.
the kingdom, and all his rights and everything will be added unto you. And I'm meditating, I got that highlight, I look over before I go to work, I look over every chance I get to meditate on it, because seeking him first, seeking first his kingdom, his rights and everything else will be added. But that relationship, you mentioned something earlier, how, you know, you got them that just do their thing with the music, but actually presenting the gospel in a form, a pure form, where they can comprehend. Because I've been around some artists back home. I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama, and I've been around some artists, not saying no name, they will act like they were superstars. They would come, do that, leave, but not fellowship, not intertwine with people. You never know people need it, but by you be around people who are ministers, who actually, when they done, minister with somebody, talk with somebody, love on somebody, and that's what it's all about. Not just, okay, I'm gonna do a couple songs here and I'm out the door. But
right.
And I've been around cats like that, and I don't respect cats like that. To be honest with you, call to ministry or you call to the gospel, fulfill the commission that Christ did, the 12 disciples did, the Apostle Paul did. I never see people nowadays doing that. They just feel like, oh, I'm on TV now, and that's it.
Right.
And I guess you can tell the difference between who's anointed, who's not anointed, because the anointed, you're going to feel it. You're going to sense it. You're going to say, oh, man, that brother's anointed. I felt that. They cut my heart. Instead of saying, oh, this person right here just pleases my flesh, give me my emotions, and I'm over it. But music-wise, I know you have a musical background. Do you come from a musical family, or you just the first one in your generation to get into music?
You know, it's crazy because I haven't been asked that question before, but you know, I do have people. There is musicians. I've been finding out, man, that I actually have a lot of people that did music. I didn't even know that. But speaking of Alabama, my family's from there too. My grandma came from Talladega Springs, Alabama. Okay. And they left there. She always talks about it. I didn't even know that. She was talking about it. She said we left there, then we came to Dayton, Ohio. They didn't like, you know, I guess they was having a lot of problems in Alabama, racism and stuff like that. I don't know.
Really real.
Yeah. So, and I know I used to go down there and see grandparents in Birmingham.
Oh yeah.
And Birmingham was like, man, that place was way different. I've never seen nothing like that place, man. Like as far as the racism. Right. So I hope it's different now. I hope it is. Shout out to Alabama because they you know, going out there and visiting family and stuff like that, and then coming to Ohio and being from California, it was a whole different platform, different atmosphere. So they was doing music, and I remember I see them singing and stuff like that. And I'd be like, why are they singing in the kitchen and all that? I didn't know that that's what they was doing. They were singing them old hymns and stuff, them gospel songs. And now I'll be listening on the radio. I'm like, man, my grandma and them was singing that. They was singing that back in the days, man. But now I listen to it, I know, oh, that's what they was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Sweet Low, Sweet Chariot, and all them type of songs. I didn't know what they were saying. But, you know, I noticed that that's what God put in there. And my mom was a wonderful writer. My mom passed away in 2010, but she was an awesome writer, composition of writing songs. So she passed it on to me. And my brother's a good artist as well. But my wife's a singer, so I'm sure my kids are probably going to have they're going to be doing something. You know what I'm saying? I see my daughter singing sometimes, but I know they're going to be doing something. But yeah, it was there. I think it was there, man, all along. My sister was an actress, actually did a lot of acting with Monique when she first started. And she had passed away to a kidney disease. But, you know, it's crazy because I remember hearing, man, everybody was like, you know, we want to do music. You know, everybody say what you want to do when you grow up, when you get older and stuff. And I'm one of the only ones that's really doing what I said I was going to do back then. Like, I'll leave it alone, brother, and I'll come right back around. God will bring me back. Like, I try to, like, leave it alone and just be a spectator, and the Lord will just, no matter where I go, God will just find somebody in a remote place, and it'll be like, it's time to work. I went back to California 2 months ago, and I wasn't thinking about music. And a brother from San Jose in Modesto, California said, hey, I'm glad you showed. I was just going to fellowship. And he said, hey, man, I know you do music. I said, yeah, man, I'm not really here for that. I'm just fellowshipping, man. I ain't been in California for a little while. He said, man, we got to have you come out, man, to the youth, man. We need you to come out. I said, oh, my God, I only been here one day, man. And he said, man, I'm going to book you. I want to book you right now while you're here. He said, I want you to come out. And then we did that fellowship, had a good time, had interviews and stuff set up. I mean, it was like, it don't stop. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you think like the Lord is done with you. So to all the viewers and artists who were trying to get into ministry, pray and ask God if it's your calling, because it may not be a calling for you. It may be just something you can do. So many of the artists I know that was doing it back then are not even doing it no more. And they're not connected. And see, God will use you to be able to be that lifeline, like I'm doing in media and like you doing. So I appreciate what you're doing, giving brothers like me and other people, you know, a platform, because when I was doing it, man, we didn't have no platform. We didn't have no shows or no podcast, or you just prayed. You had your music, your CD. You was like, man, I'm gonna go to this church. If they let me come through youth night, it's good. I'm gonna bring my CDs there. That's it. That's how you got known. It was just word of mouth. Now it's like we on media, social media and stuff like that. So it's totally different now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it is. And it really is. And it's fun and it's exciting. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2009.
Okay, praise God.
Then started getting consistent with back in 2018 because I went through a setback. I ended up going through a divorce. And so I went through a little setback. I didn't start getting consistent with it to 2018. But all glory to the Most High for keeping it going. Because originally, this wasn't even no plan of mine. I remember back in high school, and people don't know this story. I wanted to get into pro wrestling. I wanted to be a professional wrestler.
Really?
Yeah. That was like, I want to go train for it. I was going to be on the road, wrestle with WWF and win championships. That's kind of stuff. But you told me that I was going to be in ministry and you're going to be preaching and you're going to be a pastor and all that stuff. That stuff wouldn't even cross my mind. But he knew what was best for me. He knew what he wanted me to do. And I'm very excited about the growth, the elevation, spiritually wise, because we know that it's people out there who needs the Most High, who's hungry for the Most High, who's waiting on the gospel of salvation to be preached. Not talking about no anniversaries, family and friends, but
right. Amen.
gospel that signs and wonders need to follow us. Miracles need to be seen. People actually getting delivered. Because I do believe that people do be filled with demons. I do believe in that. Because the Bible said we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, spirit.
That's right.
In high places. So it's not that person, it's a spirit that operates through them that allow them to do the things they do. Because you gotta think about it. The demonic spirit look for a willing vessel to get into.
They do.
Drugs is witchcraft. All that stuff is that's a spiritual thing that keep people under control. Right then, I would say under controlled substance. Because you be under control under something you're not even aware of. And then when you come out of it, you realize, man, what happened with this and that because you was under control over something. And that's some deep stuff. But I love that type of stuff. But most importantly, how the gospel can be presented and bring forth their pureness and say, you know what, hell is real, and I don't want to go to hell.
Yeah.
And it lodges every day. So
I got a question for Mr. Kareem. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I wanted to ask the question. I was listening to you earlier, and I was amazed at how you was explaining and expressing yourself. But my question to you was how do you arrive to a song that you're getting ready to prepare for? I mean, how do you come to the titles of your song? Is it how does God speak to you on that level?
That's a good question, man. That's one of the best ones I've heard so far, man. Really, you know what? I've been talking to a lot of brothers and they've been asking that similar question, but I guess the main thing for me is when David began to write songs or psalms, God moved on him. And it was a lot of like, you notice when he came out of a triumph situation or a situation where he struggled, he would then start writing songs of victory.
Right.
You know, what God brought him out of. Same thing we should be doing that in music. I didn't really see that in gospel rap. It's a lot of braggadocio type style of music where, hey man, I can rap, I can do this, I can do that. But the thing is, when I arrive at a song and I'm really, really writing it, I'm asking God expressly, Lord, use me to write a song that's gonna glorify you, but the people can receive it. And they can hear it, so that if I'm putting the song out there, and a lot of times my wife, she's like my worst critic, man, but she's a singer.
So is mine.
She don't even like rap. She don't like rap music, man. She does not like rap music. She still tells me to this day that ain't really gospel music. They just be talking and stuff. And you know one of them old.
Yeah.
You know, I know she don't see it. I know she gonna see it later on, but I'm just saying. But the thing is like I try to tell her, you know, it's music, but it's poetry and it's expressing yourself from, you know, what you've been through with the Lord.
Right.
A lot of times David did the same thing, and so it's song. The Lord moved. He literally moves on you, because I didn't know that either. I thought like, well, does the Lord really move on people when they writing rap songs, or he do it just singing? But I realized as I started writing, I was like, Lord, what do you want me to write? And then I noticed God would give me a thought, or give me an expression, or give me a style, how to say it like this or how to say it like that. So a lot of songs, sometimes when I write a song, I have songs like Clap Your Hands, Feel Good type songs, and then I have songs like Spotlight, where I'm declaring, where I'm giving them the birth, the death, the resurrection, and ascension of the Lord. So now people can say, okay, because people have to hear that in the songs, because there's so many songs that don't talk about the gospel.
Absolutely.
That I should have something to talk about when especially if I'm doing gospel music.
Exactly.
So that's how I kind of do it about, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's some deep stuff. Cause it made me think about when he said when we commit our works to Him, our thoughts will be established. So if you commit your works into the Most High, He will establish your thoughts.
Amen. Yeah.
All we gotta do is commit it to Him, commit our works to Him. He gonna establish our thoughts. You don't wonder where all this stuff coming from, where all these thoughts come. Like I'm saying, all these clear thoughts coming from, because when you start committing stuff to Him, He'll start giving these ideas, the innovative ideas. He'll start getting your thoughts together. Like, whoa, I know that they gotta be from God, because ain't no different man no did that before. So He will establish our thoughts when we come out. That would make me think about what you were saying, Kareem. Man, we think about that scripture, to commit your thoughts, commit your words unto Him. He'll establish your thoughts. So that's what He does.
Amen.
That's what He does. I also want to get into something as well, because I know I got another family man on with me, Kenny. I want to talk about, as you being a husband, Kareem, in this 21st century, what does it take to have a vision for your household with you and your wife? Because I always hear people say, I have a vision for a ministry, but I never hear husbands say, I have a vision from God to lead my family, to lead my household. So from your standpoint, what is the vision you have to lead your family to the land of flowing of milk and honey, to lead your family to the kingdom? Because we need to see men like that in the generation, getting our homes together, instead of just we worry about the outside, but the wife, she's all over the place, cheering all over the place. But we know it takes the man, because God made man His image, to be there. So that's my question for you. What is the vision you have, for you and your wife have, to lead your household into the things of the Most High God?
You know, the biggest thing is that I was thinking about something when it talks about in Genesis, how it says the woman shall have enmity with man, you know, after the fall of Adam.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that, man, how all of us, I've been married about 20 years, so
that's a blessing.
I can only speak what I went through. The Lord had to really break the curse, because I didn't have a father, and didn't have, my mom wasn't married. She was married at one time, but they got divorced way before, you know, I was real little. But, and the same thing with my brother, you know, she didn't stay with the man for whatever reason. But the biggest thing I learned when I came to the kingdom, I saw men. That's what I noticed. I noticed there was men who were married. They may have been going through whatever they're going through, but I noticed that they was at church, they was helping out. I was in a very good fellowship. Man, they'd be going to work 40 hours a week. Man, they'd be, you know, we'd have a service 3 times a week. They would have food on Sundays, feed people free of charge. Man, they cleaning the church. I'm looking at these men like, man, I know he got to go to work at 5 in the morning. I don't know how he's doing that. He got kids, all this stuff. Man, he had them kids out there working. And I was amazed, man, of the operation of the people of God and the men, how they was cleaning, doing the work, the service of the tabernacle. That's what I started noticing. And then I started noticing, like, it wasn't just preach, preach, preach. It was like, man, if a single sister need help, the brothers go over there and go move her house, go do that, call me up, man. It'd be on Saturday morning, be like, hey, man, what you doing? Man, I'm at the house. I'm about to go play basketball. I'd be like, no, man, you gonna go fellowship with us. So they'd come get me, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying churches don't do that anymore, but I don't see it as much. Maybe you guys do. I don't know if y'all want to elaborate on, but I don't see that as much.
I don't see it
Okay.
as much. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm a man. We all men. Besides E.MO, she's a woman. But we were built to work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Before Eve came along, Adam had work.
Right.
So God made us to be workers. Nowadays, if we don't provide for ourselves, especially for our own household, we're an infidel, correct?
Right. Bible.
So it's like some men don't believe in that. There was a guy on a YouTube rant talking about he's more than a provider. He's not just a provider. I'm a man and I need these emotional needs and I need to be loved. But getting back to what I was saying, I work doubles because I'm a man. I got to take care of my business. I got to take care of myself. Because God made me that way. But now it's like in this generation, some guys, some males, it's like they peeing on a woman for guidance. And women getting tired of that. I seen a post today, a girl said, if you're going to ask me out, don't ask me where you want to go. Just do it. Women want men to take that leading role again. Back in the day, the man was the leader. He was the provider. He put his foot down. Now women are getting tired of that. They want that lead. They want that man to lead again. And I believe that we have more men who coming up in the ranks now to get in that rightful place for the kingdom. So we get this mess under control.
Right. I like that, man. And the generation coming up now, I hate to say this, but as I see youth and younger men, they don't want to go through nothing. They don't want to weather the storm, brother. Mm-hmm. It's like when I see them, like even younger people who've been married or whatever, I'm not saying everybody because things do happen, but I'm saying if you weather the storm and go through the trials and tribulations, it says glory ye in tribulation. If you go through the fire and the things you got to go through, and you keep pressing through, you'll get through it. But I notice a lot of young people like, oh, it's problems, I'm out. They don't even wait till the Lord deliver them or nothing. They just gone. And it's like, what happened? What's going on with you, man? You got to stay. See, back in the days, that's when them older people came in. The older saints came in and be like, baby, you know what I'm saying? You be all right. Just pray your way through it. That's what I heard them. You know what I'm talking about. But now it's like, we go to church and we'll sit there in church and I see a lot of young people go through things and they're like wayfaring disciples. Like they come in, the wind come through this way, they go that way. If the wind go that way, they go that way. You be like, what happened to brother over there? I don't know, man. He was at church last week. I ain't seen him in about 2 months. And that's it. And there's nothing. And you just be like, what's going on with that brother? And you find out later on what happened to your brother. Oh, the girl left him, so he don't want to go to church. His girlfriend left him. Or he lost his job. Or something happened. You know what I'm saying? And I understand. I'm not getting on nobody. I'm just saying, but those are things you go through, but you got to be able to learn how to really desire the sincere milk of the word of God, man. But once you a babe in Christ, you a babe. But when you start growing up in him, you got to be able to grow up in a man. That's where it's like, okay, man, I'll put away them childish things, man. I ain't going to just, every time something hit me, oh, Lord, I'm out of here, brother. I don't know if the Lord gonna get me through. And I'm seeing a lot of that within the newer generation. And it's really troubling to me because I feel like we're not going to be able to make it, man. Because if you get hit by the storms and the fires every single time and you just fall off, how you going to stand, man, when the real trouble comes?
Yeah, because back then, especially if you married, especially you young and married,
right,
old head's going to tell you, man, you go back home to your wife.
Exactly.
Be out of here, like they going to tell you go home with your wife, you make things right with your wife. We don't see that now. They'll tell you, man, I don't blame you, dog, going out there.
Right.
Real friends say, nah, man, you go back home to your wife. That's who you married to. That's who you made a vow before the Lord, the man, and everybody else. So go back to your wife. And we need to see more of that. You know what I'm saying? Because soon trouble happen. Oh, I'm finna file for divorce and reconcile differences and stuff. Okay, you do that, then you're going to go do that to the next person, like you said.
Right.
Yeah.
And then another thing I don't understand why some dude gets so caught up in a woman that's your girlfriend. It should be your wife. Man, like you said, stop going here because his girlfriend. First of all, she's not your wife. So they give these girlfriends wifey benefits, but don't want to make it official.
Yeah.
Man.
But need them old head, because old head gonna tell you, if you married, you go home to your wife. You
Right.
don't need to be out here. If you want to hang out, the person gonna ask you, how the home life doing? How the wife doing? Oh, she ain't doing it. No, you don't need to hang out with us. Take care of your home. Take care of your business first.
Right.
And we need more of that. We need more of that accountability instead of giving somebody who's gonna help you fool around and cheat. We don't need that, especially in our community.
Amen.
Oh, can you have anything with, like, you got something you want to share?
I'm just amazed at how my brother here is really poured a lot into us tonight. Just really enjoyed it and enjoyed hearing from you.
You as well.
It's coming down. It's always breathtaking to get more knowledge from any individual brother at any given time. So I mean, I thank God for you. God bless you.
You too, man. You too as well. I appreciate y'all. You having an impact, man. Y'all don't even know. I'm just gonna speak that, man. That the more we break bread like this and fellowship, this is you know, even though interviews and stuff, but people need to hear that, because someone's gonna listen to it and say, you know what, I'm going through that. What they talking about? I'm going through that same thing right now with my wife or whatever, or their husband or whatever, and they're gonna be like, man, it might not feel good at the time, but it's the truth. And so I've grown a lot more by getting cut up in church and bleeding all over the pews, man, but spiritually anyway. But it's been good for me. And now I see that when people are getting corrected, like we talking about, they're like, why are they talking to me like that? Don't you know who I am? They don't know me like that. I'm like, wait, hold on. This is the house of God. If the word is offending you like that, something's wrong with you and not the word. I'm just saying, man, because I had to go through it. I don't know, maybe it's me, man, but I'm seeing a lot of that, man. A lot of it.
It is. Nobody want to be held accountable for nothing. People want you to sugarcoat stuff. Well, give me the truth. Give me the truth to set my behind down, to get my behind right. That's why I look at it. Because the Bible said we can deceive our own self. Right. But people want to be deceived so much, they think it's good and it's not good. You still sick. Right. I ain't talking about no film. I'm talking about spiritually you sick. And then you won't be around people who gonna hold you accountable and tell you when it's time to sit your butt down, you sit your butt down. Exactly. Nah, go ahead and do that thing. Nah, sit your butt down. Them type of people in our life. We don't need nobody, man. Go ahead and do that thing. Or, man, I don't blame man. Go mess around with that girl. I ain't never understand why a married man will encourage another married man to fool around with his wife. I never understood that either. I don't understand that. Because I remember I heard these guys one time years ago, and they talking about, well, with my wife having that time in the month, I just go down the street and play around.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But if you're married, stay to your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because especially if it's the woman, your children, man, be there, work them things out. Especially for the wives, to the women. And the women gonna tell you, the old head women, they gonna tell you, girl, go back home to your husband. That's your husband.
They are.
Can encourage you to go step out.
They sure will tell you that.
I can,
especially in Texas.
I know. Tell you, go back home. That's who you married. Yep. Y'all stick that thing out. Y'all work that thing out.
There we go.
And that is so true, because I really can contest to the fact that, you know, marriages are awesome and great thing. You know, each day I look at a lot of older couples, act like my mother and father-in-law, and my aunts and uncles that's been married 50 and 60 years, you know, and God knows the turmoil or what they had to go through back in those times to remain faithful to each other and still to be like that. And that's very, I admire that. And for my own marriage, you know, I want that type of look back, like, man, we've been married 50 years, 60 years. That's a milestone, you know.
Praise God.
But you know, as you grow, marriage is give and take, and it's also between a man and woman, you have to be on one accord. And I'm one of those people that, you know, I had to get to learn that very great sense. And I'm one of those people that speak out for people that's in marriages that's or getting ready to get married. You know, you have to go to God first. You do. God first, and most importantly, because I can really say that as a man of my stature, I actually, the way I thought of marriage at first was totally different on how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And so it took a lot to get me to that point. And it had, what it really took, it took for God to really sit me down in a lot of ways where he would take everything away from you to get you to realize who is God and who, you know, you need to praise. And so I had to go through that. And matter of fact, you know, learn lessons throughout the day or throughout your time. But to married couples, it's all about, you know, sticking together through it. No matter what, it's going to be hell of fires. It's going to be a lot of wars. It's going to be wars that you guys got to, at one point in time, realize it is time to settle the war and throw the white flag, and we got to come together and make one war. So it's all about coming together as one.
And I totally agree with that. And that's just another thought came up to me. When you get with guys who are married and asking these hard questions like, how you and your wife doing? How would you rate your marriage? If I ask your wife how you really is, would she tell me the truth? That accountability, because
I know mine will.
Because you don't want to be around
my wife said, yeah. I know mine will too.
Yeah, because other guys don't ask that question. They don't say, man, how you and the wife doing? How everything? How are you and the children doing?
Right.
Oh, it ain't going no good. No, you don't need to hang out with us then. You need to go home and make things right.
Yeah.
And have that more accountability. Same thing with the women. You know, ask that woman how her and the marriage is. If I ask your husband how you really are, we tell me the truth. See, this kind of stuff we don't ask. And people, oh, you just hate trying to get in my business. No, it's called about keeping each other accountable. Let's stop living these lies. Let's stop being fed these lies, thinking we good and we're not good.
Right.
Amen.
Everybody want to be feeling so good, but it don't work out. It really don't. And we going down a dangerous road because we think that we doing right and we actually doing wrong.
Yeah.
But man, we had some good stuff here tonight, and I know we're pressing for time. And I thank you, Kareem, for taking time to be at your schedule with us tonight. We're pressing for time, but we want everybody to have a great night. We want y'all to enjoy yourself on this lovely week. To the married men, spend time with your wife, love on that woman.
I'm
make
actually
love to that woman. If you married, if you only married, I ain't talking about a boyfriend, girlfriend, only married.
Before we go, I'm sorry, but before we go and get off the air, I would like to send a special shout out. Since we're talking about our wives, I want to send a special shout out to my beautiful wife. On yesterday, she celebrated her birthday. She is a beautiful woman and a beautiful person inside and outside. She's number one in my life. So on this way podcast, I would like everybody to, I'm saying happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Williams. Love you, baby. That's all for me. I just wanted to get that out there.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Primetime, to her as well. She's honestly very supportive of what you doing in sports and everything. She really pushes you to that next level. So big shout out, happy birthday to Mrs. Primetime. Yes. And also a big shout out to Kareem and his family. E.MO as well. We want y'all to have a great night. We're going to be back here next Tuesday. Lord, stay the same. Y'all be blessed. Be prosperous. Remember Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And all these things will be added unto you. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Peace.
All right. Peace, brothers. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, bro.